To begin with, I wasn't a fan of this kit, but with that collar, I think this is a very, very bad kit. 4 out of 10 for me. The 2024 Euros is only a few months away, so in today's video, I decided that I'm going to be ranking every single home kit for the 2024 Euros. If you guys haven't been keeping up to date, in this recent international friendly, we have seen a lot of the top nations showcase their new kits that they will be using for the 2024 Euros. We have seen brands like Nike, Adidas, Puma, and many more produce some crazy kits for the 2024 Euros. But in my opinion, there's also some pretty ugly kits. And in today's video, I'm going to be ranking every single home kit on a scale from 1 to 10. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. For this ranking, I am going to be going in alphabetical order, and starting off with Albania. I think this is actually a very, very nice kit. Obviously, the brand that makes the Austrian kit is Puma, and in my opinion, I think Puma have been releasing some incredible kits this season. I really like what they're doing with the thick collar and the thick cuffs around the sleeves. I think it looks very, very nice. Also, in general, most international kits are pretty basic. If you look at some of the Nike ones, some of the Adidas ones, even the one I'm wearing right now, the France kit, they are a lot of the times very basic kits, mainly one color. But on this Austria kit, there is a very nice design. Now, I'm not really sure what it's supposed to be, if it's supposed to be some sort of map, if it's supposed to be some type of hills. I'm not really sure. But in my opinion, I think it looks very, very nice. And it definitely does give good representation to Austria. I think that Puma could have just went simple with this kit and done an all plain kit. But with this nice design, I do really like this kit. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Moving on to the next kit, we have the Belgium Home Kit. And in my opinion, I also think this is another pretty nice kit. Again, I keep going back to the fact that there are so many international jerseys that are very, very plain and they don't have a lot of design. But Adidas, I think, did a great job with this Belgium kit. They have a nice variety of colors with that burgundy red, the black, and the gold on the Adidas stripes. And even on the main body of the kit, there is a nice faint design in the background, which I think gives this kit a lot more detail. A lot of the times we see Belgium jerseys be in a little bit of a brighter red color, but I feel like this time Adidas really went with a more royal type of look, and I'm a big fan of it. I'm gonna give this kit a 7.5 out of 10. Moving on to the next kit, we have Croatia. I feel like Nike decided to go a little bit different with this kit because in recent years we have always seen the Croatia kit having the red and white checkers on it, but this year, instead of having the smaller checkers, they have gone with very, very big squares. But in my opinion, I actually don't really like it that much. Also, another thing you will notice on many of the Nike kits for this Euros is that they have decided to go with a different type of collar where it almost looks like it's attached, but it still folds over. And I think it's a little bit weird. Honestly, I'm just not a big fan of the big squares on this kit. I think it looked much better when they were a little bit smaller. And for that reason, I'm going to give this jersey a 6 out of 10. Moving on to the next international jersey, and it is Czech Republic. Again, this is another kit that is made by Puma. And in my opinion, I kind of like it. I think, again, we see that thick collar, the thick cuffs around the sleeves, which, like I already mentioned, I am a big fan of. And again, similar to the Austrian home kit, they have gone with a pretty cool design on the whole body of the kit, which I think is very, very unique. Like I said before, I think that a lot of international jerseys are very, very plain. And I don't think there's anything wrong with plain kits, but I do like it when they have a little bit of a unique design. And again, I'm not really sure what this design is supposed to be. It looks like it is the same image that is on the emblem of that lion, but I think it looks pretty nice, honestly. I'm not a big fan of the blue mixed with the red. I don't think they go that well together, but obviously those are the national colors of the Czech Republic and of their flag. So I think this is a pretty nice kit. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Moving on to the next jersey, and it is the Denmark jersey, which is made by Hummel. I think this is pretty much the only international jersey that is made by Hummel, and in my opinion, I actually think it's a pretty nice jersey. If you remember Denmark's jersey from some previous years, they have always been pure red on red on red. But I feel like this year, they have decided to add a little bit more white into their jersey. As you can see on the collar, on the cuffs around the sleeves, and even on the arrows on the shoulder. That white gives it a little bit more design and a little bit more depth with the color, and I really like that. Also, if you look at this jersey, you can see a design throughout the whole body. It almost looks like a checkered kind of digital design. I'm not really sure what it's supposed to be, But again, it gives this kit a little bit more design, and it's not as simple as some of the other kits that we will be seeing. So for that reason, I think this is actually a pretty nice kit. I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. Moving on to the next home kit, and it is for the England international team. We've already seen this jersey in action, and I've seen a lot of mixed reviews on it, because on one hand, yes, it does look like a very classic jersey, but on the other hand, I think it's very, very plain. Again, there's nothing wrong with plain jerseys. I think they are very, very nice. And this is a good jersey, honestly. I do really like the look of it. I think it is much better than their home kit that they were using for the last few years. But again, that Nike collar just doesn't look good in my opinion. I don't know why Nike decided to go with this new style of collar for some of the home kits, because I think if they would have just kept some of their original collars, like the one right here, or some of the ones from their previous jersey editions, I think it would have looked much nicer. But I am still a big fan of this kit. Obviously, they do have the dark blue on the underarm and on the sides. They obviously have the dark blue Nike logo. Yes, this is a very plain kit, but in my opinion, I am a big fan of it, and England are one of the favorites to win the Euros. I'm going to give this kit a 8.5 out of 10, probably my favorite kit so far. Moving on to the next kit, and it is the France international jersey. The only problem I have with this kit is that it is just so plain. I don't think there's anything unique with this kit. There's a little bit of red on the underarm, and obviously a little bit of red in the collar, as it is the red, white, and blue for the French flag. But other than that, there isn't really anything good about this kit. Realistically, I'd probably give this kit around a 6 or a 7 out of 10. But the one thing that pisses me off so much is the collar. I think it looks so bad. I already mentioned that I'm not a big fan of the other new Nike collars, like the one on the England kit. But I think this one just looks even worse, because it's just a normal, simple collar, but it's not attached. It goes all the way around, and then it doesn't attach back at the front, if you know what I'm talking about. I think this looks really bad. For that reason, I'm going to give this kit a 5 out of 10, the lowest rating so far. Moving on to the next jersey, and it is the Germany international jersey. Honestly, throughout history, I've always been a big fan of Nike jerseys, but in recent years, I feel like Adidas have been starting to incorporate more detail and more thought into their jerseys, and I'm actually a big fan of this jersey. Obviously, it is a fairly plain jersey. It is pretty much all white, but if you look at the shoulders and you look at the sides of the body, in the Adidas stripes, they have incorporated the colors of the Germany flag, the yellow, red, and the black, and it almost looks like a fiery design. I think it looks very cool, and it gives this kit something that not a lot of other kits in this Euros has, which is a unique design, and I'm a big fan of that. I think Adidas did an incredible job with this jersey. I don't think they could have done much more, and I think this is probably one of my favorite jerseys for the 2024 Euros. So for that reason, I'm going to give this kit a 9.5 out of 10. Congratulations to Germany. Moving on to the next jersey, and it is the Hungary international jersey. Obviously, Adidas did go with the same theme that they have been going through with all their jerseys, where they have that stripe going down the side of the body and the stripes on the shoulders. But instead of the normal Adidas placement, they have put the Adidas logo in the middle of the jersey with 2 Hungary representation badges on both sides, which I think is a very cool touch. One thing about this jersey is it is very plain. Obviously, there isn't really any design to it. It is just red with a little bit of white and a little bit of green, which is obviously a good representation of Hungary and their flag. But in my opinion, it's a little bit too plain for me. I don't think the colors go that well together. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. Moving on to the next home kit, and it is for the Italy international team. Honestly, I've been a big fan of Italy's kits throughout all of history. Obviously, I am Italian, and I'm a big fan of the colors they use, the designs they have, and in general, I've always been a big fan of Italy kits. And when this jersey first came out, I really liked it, and I thought, I'm probably going to buy this kit. But now that I've seen it in action a few times, my thoughts have changed a little bit, and I'm not as in love with it as I was when it first released. One thing that kind of turns me off a little bit with this kit is the design on the body of the kit. They have these small little lines, vertical lines going down. They're kind of like dotted lines, and I'm not really sure what they're supposed to be. But in my opinion, I think it would have looked better if they didn't have that line texture and if they just had it plain. I think it would have looked better. I think this design kind of ruins it a little bit, but I still kind of like it. I think it is a pretty nice kit I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. Moving on to the next jersey, and it is the Dutch International Home Kit. This is the first Nike jersey where I don't think they ruined it by using a bad collar. If you can look at this collar, it is just a plain, simple collar, not what England kit is using, not the one that France is using. It's just a plain, simple collar, and I love that about this jersey. Obviously, it is very plain. There's not much color to it. There is the black around the cuffs on the sleeves, the black around the collar, and there is a couple gray stripes on the underarm and on the back of the sleeves. But for a typical Dutch kit, which usually is all orange, I think it does represent them very, very well. I also do really like the color of the Netherlands logo, how it is in that light blue with the dark navy lion. I think it looks really nice. It is a classic Netherlands kit, and I like it. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Moving on to the next international jersey, and it is the Portugal Home Kit. Honestly, I'm sorry to say, but in my opinion, this may be the worst international kit for the 2024 Euros. I really do not like this kit. We've seen so many times where Portugal gets creative with their kits, using different colors, using cool designs, but this jersey is just so plain. It is so boring, and I think it is probably the worst home kit for the 2024 Euros. Obviously, Portuguese kits are normally red, which this kit is, but they don't have any extra design. They have no added colors. They have nothing really to make this kit stand out. And the one thing that, in my opinion, downgrades this kit a lot is that ugly collar that Nike have used once again. To begin with, I wasn't a fan of this kit, but with that collar, I think this is a very bad kit. 4 out of 10 for me. Moving on to the next international home kit, and it is the Scotland jersey. In my opinion, Adidas once again made a pretty nice kit. I think Scotland have very strange colors that make it very hard to blend. Obviously, they have the yellows, the dark blues, the whites, which don't really go together that well in my opinion, but I think Adidas did the best they could have done with this kit. Obviously, it does have the typical Adidas stripes on the shoulders and those two Adidas curved stripes going down the side of the body. But in my opinion, my favorite part about this kit is the design throughout the whole kit. I'm not really sure what it's supposed to be, if it is supposed to represent anything, but it is like a bunch of different lines going in different ways. But again, these designs just make the kit more unique, and that's what I really like about it. Also, they don't have an ugly collar like the France or the Portuguese home kit. So for that reason, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. I think it's a very nice kit. Moving on to the next international jersey, and it is for Serbia. Again, another kit that is made by Puma, and again, I think this is another pretty nice kit. Obviously, the collar, the cuffs around the sleeves, I love. I'm not a big fan of the blue around the cuffs on the sleeves. I think it would have looked nicer if it was white. I think it would have gone better with the whole vibe of the jersey. But again, if you look at the design on the front, it is just nice little, it looks like wings for the Serbian badge. I'm not really sure, but for me, it does look like the end of wings. And I think it looks very nice. It's very unique. It makes this jersey stand out from some of the other jerseys. And for that reason, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Moving on to the next country, and we have the Spain International Kit. This kit is made by Adidas, and in my opinion, I think they did do a very good job with it. Obviously, if you remember Spain's last kit, it was the main color red, but the secondary color was a dark blue. But this year they decided to go a little bit different. Instead of the dark blue, they're using a bright yellow, which in my opinion is better for Spain, as the national colors are both red and yellow. One thing I do like about this jersey is if you look at the body, there are these faint designs, these faint almost like lines that look to me a little bit like rays from the sun. I'm not really sure what it's supposed to be, but that's what it looks like in my opinion. But again, another detail that makes this jersey so much more unique than some of the other plain jerseys like Portugal or France or some of the other ones. This design makes it unique, it makes it stand out, and I do really like this Spain home kit. If I was Spanish, I would probably get it myself, and for that reason, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Moving on to the second last jersey, and it is the Switzerland home kit. This is another kit that is made by Puma, and in my opinion, I think it's a pretty nice kit. Obviously, the collar, the cuffs around the sleeves are very nice. Similar to the Hungary kit, they have put the Puma logo in the middle, and they have put two representations of Switzerland with the badge and another design on both sides, and I think that does look very nice. Again, throughout the body of the kit, we have this design, this vertical lines going down. I'm not really sure what these lines are supposed to represent, but I do think it gives this kit a little bit more detail. And rather than it just being a plain red jersey, they have added this to make it more different from some of the other jerseys. So for that reason, I kind of like it. 8 out of 10 for me. And finally, the last home kit that has been released for the 2024 Euros is the Turkish home jersey. Nike have gone very different with this jersey, because instead of doing what they did in some of the other jerseys, they have put the Nike logo in the middle just under the Turkish flag, which in my opinion looks pretty nice. But in general, I'm not really a big fan of this jersey. I don't really like how there's that big red stripe in the middle and then the white on the top and bottom. I think it would have looked better without that red stripe. And again, that Nike collar, which I don't know what it is at all. I don't know why they couldn't just stick with a normal collar. They have to always try something different, something strange. And personally, I'm not a big fan of this Turkish home kit. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. And that is the end of this video, where I ranked all the home jerseys for the 2024 Euros that have been released so far. If you guys agree with my rankings, let me know in the comments down below. But if you disagree with my rankings and you think I'm stupid and I don't know what a good jersey looks like, again, let me know in the comments down below. Obviously, this is all my personal opinion, so don't get frustrated or mad if I thought that your country made an ugly jersey, because I love all the countries, but some of the jerseys just simply don't look that good. If you guys want to see me rank all the away kits that have been released for the 2024 Euros, remember to leave a comment down below. And if you did enjoy this video, remember to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and stay tuned for more videos.